Here's a quick how-to. We're checking on the pumps and the filters in the pump house. First thing to do when you come in is to bleed the pumps. You're going to want to twist this. Air's going to come out. Do that till water comes out. Do that on all three. The fourth one on the end is not working currently. You're looking for pressure to stay under 25 psi. If you're getting pressure up big time in these filters, it's time to backwash it. I'll show you how to do that. So right here is the circuit breaker for all three pumps. If you're ready to backwash, we are going to twist, plunge, and turn number one back on. Number one is on the bottom. That'll start shooting water out of this pipe in the back. And that's just helping alleviate a little bit of the pressure on this pump and filter. If it's really in bad shape, you'll probably have to backwash for a good 90 seconds or so. Biggest downside of backwashing is it draws quite a bit of water from the pool. So if you've already got a low pool water level, you want to limit your backwashing because that water just goes quickly. You'll notice leaves building up from the skimmer. So this is currently on, that's now off. That's now off. Use your hammer to open. And we got a bucket to put these in outside of the pump house. Once you get that pretty well cleaned out, you're going to want to put the insert back in with this little horseshoe in the front. All right, make sure the little black washer is in position as you put your cover back on. Trying to line up this at 11, that at about 5. And you're going to need the hammer to close it fully. Always remember to turn your valves back on before you start up the circuits again. You'll notice the valves for these first two pumps are oriented a little bit differently when they're in an open position compared with the third pump, where that's an open position, pointed to the right and pointed to the right. If you need to access the auto chlorinator, you got to turn everything off. Use both hands to twist this. And we're going to use our hammer again. That is pretty well fully stocked there. I think it takes about 50 tabs or so to fill it all the way up. And that'll last for like 3 days. This is the little auto chlorinator throttle. If you want to cut back on chlorine, twist it that way a little bit. If you want it more full blast, you would want it going straight. Right now we got about a 3.0 in the pool, so let's do it halfway. Getting the auto chlorinator lid back on can be a challenge. Use your mallet till it's flush, and then this little threaded top should go right on. If you ever need to turn off the skimmer, it's this one. You pull this little lever and give it a good 90-degree crank. Reasons why you would turn off the skimmers are if the water level get too low, and you just want to prevent the skimmers from sucking air if the water level's getting too low. It stresses out the pumps. And this is for the main drain. If you are diving down to get leaves off of the main drain, make sure you use this lever and twist to the right. That'll turn off the main drain. So the pool's in pretty good shape right now, clear and at a good water level. The ideal water level is right on this tile here, this tile line. You can see we're a little above it. That's good. That's going to allow plenty of water to flow into these. These are the skimmers. Every day when you get here, you're going to want to check the skimmers. These collect leaves and whatnot. We keep those clean, pumps stay in good shape. If the water level gets low, we can run 2 hoses max from here. So just run these 2 black hoses. Right now it's at a good level, so we need to just have 1 running. Just always double check that you've got the right amount of hoses running. You can only run 2 at any given time. You got to keep an eye on the baby pool water level as well. There's an extra hose there for the baby pool water. I would say the baby pool needs to be about halfway up these tiles, maybe at the top of that second tile there, so we need to add some more water. Get that cranking and that baby pool will fill quickly. It'll only take about 30 minutes to fill. At the end of the shift, when you're closing, be sure to turn off the baby pool motor by flipping that switch right there. And when you get here first thing, turn it back on to keep the water circulating. The baby pool pump is right here. If you ever need to manually drain the baby pool, if it gets a little bit green or whatever, usually it's set on recirculate. If you want to drain it, again, it'll drain pretty quickly. Probably only takes about 20 minutes. First, turn it off down here. And you're gonna push down on this handle and twist it to waste out. Turn it back on, and then you're gonna start draining out that way. This gizmo is for picking up large leaves out of the pool. You hook up a hose here and one of these long handles. The hose shoots out and creates a little jet stream that carries the leaves into the bag. The wire brush is for hitting the sides of the pool to get sort of the black algae barnacles off. What we do to keep the black algae under control is to hit it with the wire brush and then to manually scrub with one of those chlorine tabs that I showed you from the auto chlorinator. Oh, that reminds me. There is a little chlorinator on the baby pool. It just takes 2 tabs, and that is located right here. That's the baby pool auto chlorinator. You can see there's 1 tab in there. It's going to be really slow to dissolve. This big white hose hooks up to one of the skimmers. There's a hole in the skimmer that you can put one of those ends in, and then the other end goes in this deal, and it basically acts as a regular vacuum cleaner that's designed for small silt and sand at the bottom of the pool. If you do that to pick up leaves, it ends up putting too many leaves in the pump and gets overheated. If you ever need to get to the main drain, it's about 8 feet out from the edge of the diving board, and it's 12-foot deep end, so it'll hurt your ears a little bit, but if you get the leaves off of there, it really makes everything circulate a lot better. Sometimes you have to turn off the main drain before you get the leaves off of that vent, just to kind of suspend them a little bit so they don't have that suction while you're trying to remove the leaves. Generally, you want to look for the pool to be in good, decent condition. All the chairs folded down, trash picked up. Everything should look welcoming for the guests and members. Here at the sign-in desk, we'll have a sheet for people to sign in, number of members and number of guests. And important to make sure this front door is unlocked before every shift. Opens like that. Check the bathrooms every so often to make sure there's no major trash. Make sure they got plenty of toilet paper. Make sure the showers are clean. Ready to rock. If there's a little lost and found, make sure that goes to the lost and found. Here's the lost and found.